Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to make this submission. Firstly, I make clear that this submission is entirely my opinion. I'm making this submission because I'm very concerned about the size of the proposed rates increases under the long-term plan, and the comments by councillors that they've done everything they can to keep rates and rates increases to a minimum when that's patently untrue. I submit that there are a considerable number of areas in which future budgets can be reduced without compromising core council services such as water reticulation, sewage, street repairs, street lighting, etc. I submit that there are some areas of expenditure that can be reduced and in some cases eliminated altogether. Councillors' salaries, the number and cost of council staff, support for community activities such as fireworks displays and festivals, non-essential capital projects such as cycleways, art purchases of further land and buildings unless there is a clear majority ratepayer support. I also believe that there should be a requirement that council provided facilities such as stadiums and conference facilities run at least at a break-even point, including routine maintenance, but if necessary excluding capital maintenance, although they should be able to cover that if competently run. I submit that at least some of the capital works in the plan should be reviewed. For example, the spending of $80 million on the Akaroa wastewater project, which works out at over $100,000 per ratepayer in that area. When a scaled down and therefore more cost-effective and affordable scheme would be more appropriate. When reading the proposed rates increases in the long-term plan, I wonder how connected its authors are to the real world of ratepayers struggling to make ends meet in this COVID world. I often wonder if councillors and staff ever stop to think that the ratepayer well is not bottomless and that real people have to fund the rates. I appreciate that you'll have received many submissions on the long-term plan and that according to a recent quote in the press from a councillor, you ignore most submissions. However, in the case of my submission, I ask that you give some serious consideration to the points that I've made. I'll be very happy to assist you in reducing the rates burden under the plan. You're supposed to be the leaders of the council, and I ask that you show some leadership and actively work to reduce the rates burden by resisting the bureaucrats and making some real decisions. I suggest that this is one of the things you were elected to do, and if you're not willing to do it, then you should resign forthwith and allow someone to be elected who is. Finally, I would like to say that if at the end of the process you persist with the rates increase proposed, you cannot say that you've done everything you can to keep rates increases to a minimum, as that would be an outright lie. Thank you for your time.
Thanks very much. Look, and I know that you've commented on a quote that was in the media, and I do want to kind of defend the individual councillor who said that it was misinterpreted. There is no one that sits around this table that doesn't read the submissions, doesn't take them into account. There will be value judgments applied and people will take different perspectives, but your perspective is as valuable as everyone else's, and I really appreciate the fact that you took the time to come here and make a submission.
Sorry, but if I could just say though, that's not quite fair. I was at a recent public meeting where a councillor said that councillors don't make decisions. He said in front of at least 20 people, publicly stated, that councillors do not make decisions. The decisions are made by the bureaucrats. He said that in front of 20 people. I'm sorry, I was at a meeting, you weren't. I was there, and when the councillor particular said this, that's what the person said.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were commenting on a flippant comment that a councillor made at a council meeting.
No,
I wasn't referring to anything.
There were lots
other
of times
than that.
we disagree with staff.
But it's not the intention is not to diminish what you say. I'm actually saying thank you for coming and making your time, your precious time, available to make your views known. That's what the purpose of these hearings are, and people are listening. Thank you.
Thank you.